Ms. Allen was intimate with another man somewhere during this timeline. Can you tell the court where?
In the park.
I did not mean a location. I meant where within the timeline.
Before he even got buried in the ground, called the Social Security office to get claims. He wasn't even in the ground. Funeral arrangements wasn't even ready. They didn't care because it was all about the money to them. It's not all about him.
Hold up, I got that too, baby. I got that too. Hold up, I got the evidence right here. From the court, when I went to the court and they tried to get in contact with her DNA test, she never showed up. And I paid for 2 tests.
Can you believe we're actually starting this? The case Puckett vs. Macon kicks off with Ms. Puckett claiming Mr. Macon fathered her child while juggling a relationship with his current girlfriend, Ms. Glover. Ms. Puckett demands a DNA test to establish paternity, asserting that both kids from these tangled relationships are named Stephen Macon Jr. Just when you think it can't get more complex, keep watching.
Ms. Puckett, you claim the defendant, Stephen Macon, fathered your child while in a relationship with his current girlfriend, Ms. Glover. You claim you can prove he got you pregnant at the same time, and now you both have 2-year-old children named Stephen Macon Jr. You're asking the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Macon is the biological father of your 2-year-old son.
Did that exchange really just happen? Mr. Macon counters Ms. Puckett's allegations, suggesting she's a veteran at this, with multiple children by different fathers, yet he denies being one of them. He acknowledges a past fling with Ms. Puckett, but insists they used protection, albeit unsuccessfully. This sequence lays bare Mr. Macon's shaky defense amidst the convoluted saga. Brace yourself, the plot thickens even more from here.
She got 5 kids by 5 different baby dads.
And you could be the 6th.
No, I ain't. We ain't have sex till like 3 months after. I wouldn't even have sex.
But you did have sex
Me
with her.
and my Miss Glover, we wasn't together at the time.
Did you use protection?
Yes. Before we even had sex. 3 weeks after I met her, she got my name
right up there
tattooed
to
on
the
her neck.
You got his name tattooed on your neck 3 weeks after
We ain't
you
even
met her?
had sex yet.
No.
Talk about a curveball. In a pivotal moment, Ms. Puckett whips out a photo as proof of Mr. Macon's involvement during her pregnancy, capturing him affectionately caressing her belly. Confronted with the image, Mr. Macon awkwardly confirms it's him in the photo. This evidence flies in the face of his earlier denials. You'll want to stick around. The surprises keep coming.
He was rubbing on my belly like he was happy and he was concerned about it. And I have a picture of him rubbing on my belly when I was about 6 months.
Let me see that picture. Jerome, will you hand it to me, please? Is this you? Mr. Macon, are those your hands and your jacket? So what do you have to counter this evidence that Ms. Puckett is presenting?
It's not my child. No, sleeping around with a whole lot of people. I know it.
Proof of that. Did you bring the court anything?
Now this is where it gets juicy. As the courtroom drama escalates, a deeper dive into the relationship dynamics and the backstory of naming the children is unveiled. Mr. Macon sends confusing messages to Ms. Puckett, hinting at a future together if the paternity test is positive. This scene ratchets up the emotional stakes, showcasing Mr. Macon's conflicting narratives. Don't go anywhere. It's about to hit the fan.
Before we came to court, he sent me a message. Would you like to see that? He sent me a message off of Facebook saying that if it was his, that we all was gonna move in together.
Oh,
Her baby and my kids, we all gonna move in together if it was his. Then he sent me another one, said if it was his, it come out to be his, that we was gonna make love to the sunrise.
If he is, like I said, I'll apologize to him.
Who knew court could be this chaotic? Ms. Glover takes the stand, adding her twist to the tale. She recounts her own detective work and confrontations, painting Mr. Macon as less than truthful. This segment underlines the messy, interwoven relationships and the emotional turmoil bubbling among all involved. Next up, the tension reaches a boiling point.
I said, I hear you. I said, open the door. Next thing I know, I click, click, lock. She didn't hit the lock. She got smart because I was about to walk up in there, but she got smart. I don't need no case. So she hit the lock. I'm like, I hear you in there. You might as well come out here. So you're not answering the door. I already know what it is. So I go back out to the car. He looking nervous because he don't know what happened.
You went to confront her.
Yes, as a woman. Because a man gonna lie. I feel like he can get away with it. A man gonna lie.
So you went to figure out from him.
Because I didn't heard your names, you know what I'm saying? And I knew we was going through things.
And now for the grand finale. The climax hits with the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Macon Sr., you are his father.
Buckle up. This is a wild start. Ms. Wilson brings us into the chaos immediately after her son's tragic death a month ago, with a whole lineup of women claiming he fathered their children. She's pretty convinced these claims are more about cashing in on Social Security benefits than genuine paternal connections. You won't believe how this spirals.
Ms. Wilson, your son died tragically just 1 month ago. You say that since then, a flood of women have come forward with claims that he fathered their children. You believe they are trying to pin their children on your son in an effort to get Social Security.
Things are heating up now. Ms. Felix and Ms. Brown drop a bombshell of confidence, claiming with no doubt whatsoever that Ms. Wilson's late son is definitely the daddy of their kids, eyeing those survivor benefits like a treasure chest. They're 100% sure, and so the plot thickens. Just watch how the tension builds from here.
You both state that you are 100% sure that Mrs. Wilson's deceased son, Mr. Marquette Dames, is the biological father of your children and are fully entitled to survivor's benefits.
Here comes a heart-wrencher. Ms. Wilson dives deep into the tragic details of her son's demise, laying bare her soul and her struggles. She's on a quest for truth amidst a sea of paternity claims, seeking closure in a situation that seems to keep her from finding peace. The emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
When they took him, they took a part of me too. They ripped my heart out. I just buried him July 30th. It's not easy for me as a mom losing a son, and I just want to know who's his kids, who's not his kids, because everybody's talking about they got kids, and I only want to know so I can have closure for myself.
Can anyone keep up with this? With a staggering revelation, we learn that not one, not two, but 11 women are staking their claim as the mother to her son's children. The audience can barely handle it, and frankly, neither can we. But stick around, it gets even juicier.
It's 11 people. We're talking 11 kids here. So
Oh my goodness.
it's not just these two young ladies, you know. It's other women that's like literally inboxing me.
How old is your child?
My child is 2.
And Miss Felix, how old is your child?
3.
Grab some popcorn, this is getting good. Mrs. Felix lays it all out, painting a picture of a loving relationship with the deceased, who was deeply involved throughout her pregnancy. She's baffled by Ms. Wilson's sudden doubts. What comes next will have you on the edge of your seat.
Was Marquette a part of your child's life?
Yes, he was a complete part of her life. He was there when I was pregnant. He made sure I was doing right while I was pregnant. Was the one providing me the food. He went to every doctor's appointment. He was there throughout the whole thing. She also knew about it. She used to come to my house. We used to play cards, you know, and hang out. So we were in a serious relationship.
So are you wondering now why she's questioning the paternity?
I don't understand why someone do all the things you did for my daughter and then be questioning her paternity.
You thought it was dramatic already? Well, hold on to something, because Ms. Wilson just turned the drama dial up to 11. She spills the beans about her son's secret doubts regarding the paternity of several kids kept under wraps till now. The next part? It's a doozy.
My son confided in me, and I promised my son I wouldn't say anything. Before my son died, we was talking for the past 6 months before he passed away. He had doubt about several kids. Her baby was one. Darielle baby was the next one. He told me not to say anything to anybody about it, so I kept it a secret between him and I.
Fasten your seatbelts. Here's where it gets rough. Ms. Wilson accuses Ms. Felix and Ms. Brown of rushing to the Social Security office even before her son's funeral arrangements were set. It's a low blow full of grief and accusation, and the atmosphere is charged with emotion. The confrontation is far from over.
Before he even got buried in the ground, called the Social Security office to get claims. He wasn't even in the ground. Funeral arrangements wasn't even ready. They wasn't even put in place. And these two did that. I didn't hold it against them. I didn't hold it against them at all. At the end of the day, it's my child. They didn't care about my grief at that present time. They didn't care because it was all about the money to them. It's not all about him.
Just when you think it couldn't get more heated, Ms. Wilson and the alleged mothers go head-to-head in an explosive confrontation about actions taken right after her son's death. Accusations fly like arrows in a battlefield of words. What happens next will definitely raise some eyebrows.
I'm a very emotional person right now. I have not grieved my son since he died. I'm trying to deal with other stuff. I just want to know who kid, who not. My son gone. They got their kid. Okay, I'm missing a child. That's wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm just only trying to find out the truth.
Miss Felix, does Marquela know her daddy's missing? She's used to seeing him. Has she asked for him?
Every day.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, like the final scene of a thriller. The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Dames is the father.
Here's where the plot thickens. Ms. Jasmine Degree, supported by her fierce mom, throws a curveball by claiming her life took a major turn at age 9 when she learned that Mr. Little might be her real dad. Mr. Little is adamant that he's not the father, confidently asserting 100% certainty. Just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, the next scene will knock your socks off.
Ms. Degree, you say your whole world changed when you were just 9 years and your mother revealed to you that your dad was not biological father. Mr. Little was your father, yet claimed claim he's denied you ever since. Say you are 100% certain you are not her father. You were intimate with her mother. You are certain it was months before she became pregnant.
You won't believe this one. At just 11 years old, Ms. Degree bravely reached out to Mr. Little, seeking answers about her dad, only to be hit with a "we need a DNA test" response. The audacity, but hold tight because what comes next will really stir the pot.
When I was 11, and I told him who I was, who my mother was, and what I believe. He don't know, he need a DNA test, he don't think so, and...
Mr. Little, you told an 11-year-old needed a DNA test?
Yes, I did.
Straight to an 11-year-old?
Yes, I did.
Talk about awkward family calls. Mr. Little recalls the baffling phone call from young Jasmine, his confusion palpable as he pushed for a DNA test without a second thought to her feelings. As the tension builds, get ready for the emotional temperature to rise even further.
We need to take a test to find out.
Did you know who she was?
No, I didn't know who she was. This is my first time seeing her. I ain't know nothing about her.
And so you just decided just to talk about a DNA test with a child?
All right, she said, no, you my father.
She said, you are my father.
I don't believe I said that.
You said, my mother told me you're my father. I don't know if you is or you're not.
Here comes the drama queen. Ms. Felicia Degree doesn't hold back her fury toward Mr. Little for dismissing her daughter's phone call, questioning his empathy and maturity, or the apparent lack thereof. Fasten your seatbelts. The turbulence is just picking up.
My brother said, is this don't be my nephew or niece? You ain't your brothers. I'm
Well, if she told you that,
It's
then
funny, you don't...
why are you
And I
trying
got
to...
documents. Hold up,
Why
I
you
got
trying
no
to
proof
reach out?
right.
You can cut the tension with a knife. Mr. Little pulls out a calendar from 2 decades ago, hoping to prove his non-paternity with dates and times. As the courtroom gasps, brace yourself, because the bombshells just keep dropping.
I do my homework. I do my homework.
What you did is you created a calendar.
Exactly.
To illustrate.
I created a calendar to illustrate, but
You say you saw Ms. Degree in November.
we messed around.
And she told you she was 1 month pregnant at that time.
Yes, she did.
Now it gets really juicy. The debate heats up over child support garnishments that led Mr. Little to demand a DNA test. His skepticism about his fatherhood status sparks fiery exchanges. Stay tuned, as the next testimony is a real jaw-dropper.
And they tried to get in contact with her for a DNA test. She never showed up. And I paid for 2 tests. They never showed up.
That $20
They would have wanted their money.
Let's get
They
some
would have
more.
wanted their money, so they would have made sure that you got a...
It's a legal maze. Mr. Little describes his fruitless attempts to clear his name through DNA tests that never happened because no one else showed up. As the plot thickens, the next piece of the puzzle is just around the corner.
You two didn't show.
Well, I was in a whole nother state.
You ever notified that this hearing was going to exist when you were asked to give a name? Only his name or multiple
I gave
people?
Cannon Little name.
It should have been multiple names.
Grab your popcorn for this sibling support. Corey Degree steps up big time, sharing how he watched his sister struggle with identity and belonging due to their father's mystery. With emotions running high, the next moment is definitely a tearjerker.
To see what was going on.
That was for child support.
It wasn't for child. I still need to know.
You said
Yeah, I said it, but we
right
still
now,
need
you
to
just
know.
said, and so if you knew for certain she was your daughter,
She'd have been right there with me. Like I got her like my kids have been. You know, I would have took her in just like my kids, showed her my family.
And here it is, the moment of truth. DNA results are in.
Mr. Little, you are her father.
This is my father.
You won't believe what just went down. The plaintiff, Ms. Allen, steps into the courtroom and drops a bombshell, claiming Mr. Levant, the defendant, is actively denying paternity of their 6-month-old daughter in an attempt to keep their affair under wraps. She's here to blow the lid off that secret and prove that he is indeed the father, all while the courtroom hangs on every word. The drama is just getting started. Get ready for a wild ride.
Ms. Allen, you were in court today claiming the defendant, Mr. Levant, is denying your 6-month-old daughter, Layla, only because he's desperate to try to your affair with him a secret. You're here to expose that secret and prove paternity. Mr. Levant, you and your girlfriend say you know you are not the biological father of the child in question and will prove your claim today in court.
Here's where it gets spicy. The audience can't believe their ears when Ms. Allen counters accusations about her baby's complexion, suggesting racial biases are at play in the paternity denial. The room is charged with tension as this moment amplifies the personal and complex social dynamics of the case. Buckle up. The next scene is even more intense.
The baby don't look like him.
That baby too light.
The baby do not look like. Just because I have to like, and he don't want to break up his happy home with his girlfriend.
So you believe this is all about the girlfriend?
Yes.
Mr. Levant, are you denying because you're trying to keep your relationship with your girlfriend?
No.
So you have a family together, you and your girlfriend?
Yes.
So there's a lot at stake here. You have children?
Yes,
we do.
How many?
3.
You have 3 children.
Yes.
Things are heating up now. During a fiery exchange, Ms. Allen and Mr. Levant's current partner, Ms. Lanier, clash over the nature and duration of Ms. Allen's relationship with Mr. Levant. Accusations about one-night stands and longer liaisons are thrown around, challenging each other's version of events with no holds barred. Stay tuned, because the arguments are about to get even juicier.
So wait a minute.
You tried to break up a happy home. You knew we had 3 kids together for the longest. You've been commenting on my profile for
No,
all that.
I was there because I was telling you to keep him away from me.
No.
Let's get some order, because I want to understand the story. Did you know Mr. Levant had a girlfriend and 3 children when you were sleeping with him?
No.
Was it just a one-night stand?
No, it wasn't.
You commented on my firstborn child.
Like I said, we was together.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Ms. Allen whips out a calendar as her ace, pinpointing the exact date of her rendezvous with Mr. Levant, which she claims led to her pregnancy. The judge scrutinizes this claim, while Mr. Levant dismisses the dates, thickening the plot with skepticism and disbelief. Don't blink. You won't want to miss what's coming up next.
In 2015, what happened? You were in long-distance phone relationship.
I came to Atlanta in 2015 for my vacation. We meet up. We did
but
what
you
we did.
contacted me in that week.
We did what we did in 2015, and I got the proof. But you know that when we did it.
You have proof?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it. So on this calendar, you claim you were intimate with Mr. Levant on the 27th of December.
Yes.
Hold on to your seats. Amidst swirling accusations, Ms. Lanier asserts that Ms. Allen was involved with another man, Mr. Mitchell, right before her alleged encounter with Mr. Levant, muddying the waters of paternity further. As Ms. Allen admits to the fling but reaffirms Mr. Levant's paternity, the storyline twists with added layers of complication and doubt. The courtroom drama escalates, so keep watching. The revelations are going to be explosive.
You are saying that Ms. Allen was intimate with another man somewhere during this timeline. Can you tell the court where?
In the park.
It was not at the park.
I mean, at what? I did not mean a location. I meant where within the timeline.
You had sex with Mr. Mitchell a day before you had sex with Mr. Levant.
Now here's a game changer. Ms. Allen presents a string of text messages where Mr. Levant allegedly acknowledges his role as the father, calling himself Daddy. This crucial piece of evidence could turn the tide in the paternity debate, challenging his denials head on. The atmosphere is electric. Wait till you see the DNA results that are about to flip the script.
This is a series of text messages between the two of you?
Yes.
Text messages?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, happy Valentine's Day, Lily.
Lele.
Daddy loves you. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Carlisha. Then you send a picture of
Layla.
Layla. And then he says, Mr. Levant says, what's she doing? And then you say, looking around.
Everyone in the courtroom is on the edge of their seat. The moment of truth arrives, with the DNA test results that conclusively show.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Levant, you are not the father.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Allen.
He's the only man I slept with though.